First off, other than to say go Wyatt, I do not give a shit about Bray Wyatt and JoJo and all the bullshit that they're dealing with right now. Second of all, what the fuck is going on Raw? We got Dean Ambrose dressed as a teddy bear, we got Bayley creeping out Corey Graves, and we have Noam Dar and Alicia Fox on FaceTime, and you wonder why I stick to SmackDown. Let's talk about SmackDown, guys. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check here with your June 13th Go Home to Money in the Bank SmackDown Live review. Not a bad show. A little bit of the spirit of Teddy Long tonight. Lots of tag team action. Get the house cleaning out of the way first. Go up into that exclamation mark up there if you want to be part of the next Q&A. Join us later this week when we preview Money in the Bank, including the pay-per-view Pick 'em. If you guys want to take part in that, make sure you watch that video. Now, did SmackDown do a good job of getting us hyped for Money in the Bank? Not really. It wasn't exceptional as far as a go-home show. It was a very good show. There's one blemish on the show, and you all know that that's going to be Naomi. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. Like I say, not spectacular. Very middle-of-the-road type show, which means it's a little less than it should be for a go-home show. But let's talk about it. Speaking of tag teams, we start off with the New Day, who come out not only with Xavier Woods' trombone, but with an entire marching band, who are apparently the Soul Rebels, because they were in New Orleans, which is where the next WrestleMania is going to be. They hype up that the next WrestleMania is going to be in New Orleans. They talk about their title shot at Money in the Bank, and how they're going to win, and how they're still going to be champions when they come back to New Orleans for WrestleMania. Being that they're the longest reigning champs in Raw history, that's not too far-fetched an idea, is it? The Usos come out, and okay, every person in this segment, I'm going to say, and they do what they do, because realistically, they do what they do. Usos come out and talk about how they shouldn't be joking around, how this is very, very serious. They've been holding down the SmackDown Tag Team division for a long time, Roddy, which isn't that true, because they didn't get the Tag Team championships that long ago. They do their very hyped up 5-hour energy Usos promo. They're interrupted by Breezango, who comes down to remind them that they are the fashion police and they are the authorities of fashion and all that shit, and remind the Usos that their day isn't so H after all. They crack a lot of jokes, and then they're interrupted by the colognes. Somebody decided to give the colognes a microphone. They try to cut a promo, and they try to cut a promo in English. They try to cut a promo not in English. Neither one of it's that good. So they started good, they went with the Usos, Breezango's funny, and the colognes are just shit on the mic. I don't care about what they're... I don't care about them, therefore I don't care what they're saying. Does that make sense? If I cared about them as characters, the promo might not have been so cringeworthy. But of course, like I say, as my buddy OKFabe would say, actually, pause this for a second. Apparently, it's my buddy OKFabe's birthday, so anybody here that also watches OKFabe, go wish him a happy birthday. Tell him Spaz said happy birthday as well. New Day, and Breezango versus the Usos and the colognes, leaving Big E on the outside watching what's going on inside the ring. Big pile of people match, very hectic. You know I love this. It kind of... Why are we beeping? Why is this a thing? I don't know why they start off with a 4-on-4 when the main event of the show is a 3-on-3. It sort of waters down the whole concept. But Kofi and Epico start. There's a collar and elbow tie up and a shoulder by Epico. Back elbow by Kofi and a snapmare and a boot. Woods works over the arm and chops by Fandango. Head scissor by Fandango and a leg drop. Back elbow and a back elbow drop combination by Breezango. Slam by Jey Uso, and the Usos double team in the corner. Neck vice by Primo. Inseguri by Breeze and a splash. Dropkick by Woods, corner chops, and an honor roll, which we haven't seen in a long time, so that's kind of cool. Everybody dropkicks everybody, and Breezango and the New Day stand tall as we go to commercial break. Roddy. We come back. Hangman by Primo. Guillotine leg drop by the Usos is another one that we haven't seen in a while. Lays him out across the knee. Other one comes down off the top rope. It's cool, and it fits their aggressive new style and whatever, so I'm good with it. Corner hip attack by Jay, who rides a headlock, stalling vertical suplex by Epico. For a long time, he milks the stalling suplex so long that he almost drops it. And you see him at one point tries to regain his balance when it almost goes to shit. Epico rides a headlock, tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, boot in a kitchen sink by Breeze, forearms by Woods, suicide plancha by Woods, chops by Kofi Kingston, and a boom drop, trouble in paradise by Kofi Kingston, midnight hour combination finisher by the New Day. New Day and Breezango win the match. I'm assuming this means Breezango and the Colognes are going to have a match, either on the show or on the pre-show this Sunday, but that hasn't been announced yet, so it won't be part of the pay-per-view pick 'em unless they announce it sometime later tonight. New Day won tonight. They're not going to win Sunday. I'm just putting that one out there right now. John Cena returns on July 4th because America, but as we saw on Raw, they're advertising him as the free agent John Cena, and couple that with the fact that Roman Reigns, or as some call him No Man Gaines, has an announcement next week on Raw concerning SummerSlam. Now, are they so desperate to get the ratings up on Raw that they would move John Cena over to Raw, like they did with The Undertaker, and give us John Cena versus Roman Reigns? John Cena versus Roman Reigns, I don't care about the match. I'm not going to lie. I do care about the fact that the audience in Brooklyn will be a spectacle of itself if they sign that match. Styles, Nakamura, and Zayn talk about their 3-on-3 tag match tonight. They go back to doing this really hyper, almost fanboy Sami Zayn thing, and I want to hate it, but it's Sami Zayn, and it's what he does, and I'm sure. Who is it that really doesn't like Sami? Oh yeah, it's Chase Oliver that doesn't like Sami Zayn. He's going to have a rant about the taxi driver, whatever. Let him go do his thing. Mojo Rawley talks about losing to Jinder. Now, I don't like this. He got squashed by Jinder Mahal. He was recognized last week as the only person that's beat Jinder Mahal since he came to SmackDown. Then he got squashed by Jinder Mahal last week. And then he went all sad sack on Talking Smack. Yeah, that rhymed. Okay, cool. Talking about how he lost, and now he's got a promo tonight talking about how he lost last week. I know that Mojo Rawley isn't a main eventer, but you don't want to have the guy coming out talking about a loss more than once. He gets a pep talk from the returning Zack Ryder, who says that they had unfinished business in the tag team division. So on the one hand, the Hype Bros are a fun team, get them back in the mix, it's all good, but on the other side, Mojo Rawley, sorry about your singles push. Naomi versus Tamina, with Lana at ringside, making the place look good, which is great. I saw this, and I thought Naomi has a title match on Sunday, so she's going to squash somebody on the way to that title match. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen per se. What happens in this match is a whole lot of Naomi getting her trash bag ass handed to her, which makes me smile. Will I be smiling at the end of the match? Let's talk about it. Tamina manhandles Naomi in the corner, gets her with a headbutt, veils her by the hair, and locks on a headlock, clubs to the back, a hair takedown, and Naomi eats the turnbuckle face first, which can only do improvements to the fucking horse face. Corner beatdown by Tamina, a running hip attack by Tamina, who rides another headlock, lariat, and rides another headlock. Naomi tries to Irish whip Tamina into the corner. Tamina hardly moves. Naomi falls on her own ass. She wasn't even trying to hit a jawbreaker this week, folks. She just has to fall on her ass every week. Black hole slam by Tamina, and Naomi hits one successful maneuver, a very generic moonsault out of the corner, but that alone is enough for her to cocksuck her way into a victory leading into Sunday. Oh yes. If you have ever complained about Super Cena and you tell me there isn't bullshit, yeah, you are a hypocrite, and not me, you are the racist. Oh yes, but that's okay. My girl Lana comes in. She hits her with this move that I'm going to try and explain to you guys, because you know I love trying to explain to you guys. She hooks the one leg, like she's going to do a fisherman suplex. She hammer locks the other arm, so she's got her kind of bent in half two ways, and then turns it into a sit-out powerbomb. So here's what I'm going to do. Because Lana is going in this Sunday, and I'm really hoping is going to become the new SmackDown Ravishing Champion, I'm going to call that the Ravishing Bomb, until somebody tells me otherwise. How does that sound? Alright. Way more than I want to talk about Naomi. Jinder Mahal comes out with the Singh brothers, and he looks like a champion. He's presented like a champion, but please, other than the very first promo that he cut after winning that fatal six-way, six-pack challenge thing. That was an amazing promo he cut right after. But now we have blah, 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 show me respect, blah, 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 Orton sucks, his town sucks, his family sucks, blah, 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 he's scared of me, and some more blah, blah, blah in Punjabi, which does what it's supposed to do, I suppose, and gets some USA chants. Orton, his promo is great. It's the greatest promo Orton's ever cut. Sneaks up in the back, literal RKO out of nowhere, and fucks off. I like it. It's good. It's good because Randy Orton at the beginning of this segment, or at the beginning of this feud, talked about his relatives and his family members and the legends that came before him, talking about like they weren't the talking generation, they were going to let their actions speak for themselves. So to let Jinder Mahal go out there and blather on for 5 minutes, and then drop him with an RKO, fuck yourself, see you Sunday, fits that mode perfectly. Also, unless there's a very specific set of circumstances set in place, a Randy Orton promo ain't that good either. He was doing some cool shit with Bray Wyatt, but as a whole, it's not that great. So this, not only does it hide where Orton seems to be lacking somewhat in that regard, but it totally fits with the story they're trying to tell. Less talk, more action, you know, blah, 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 I'm not American, blah, 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 you're American, so I'm going to defeat you, and therefore I've defeated America, has been done to death. We can go back to any other feud we've ever seen like this and replay the promos from that. We don't have to see it again. So this was the best way this segment could have ended. Owens and Ziggler and Corbin bicker about their match later on tonight and how they don't trust each other and rah-rah-rah-rah. Natalya Neidhart versus Charlotte Flair. Now, as much as Natty is a weirdo now, quoting her uncle way too much and talking about her cats on Instagram, and as much as Charlotte is an amazing wrestler that I don't really care to hear on the mic, these two had one of the best early feuds in NXT when the women's division in NXT that gave us the women's division that we had now was just starting out. We remember you had Bret Hart in one corner, Ric Flair in the other corner, rah-rah-rah. They had a really good match. This was nothing close to that, but this was still a good match. They put in a good effort for the short amount of time that they were having. And considering both of them are going into a 5-woman match on Sunday, it was good. We didn't see Carmella this week. We didn't see Becky Lynch this week. Both of them were shown at separate times during this match, watching and getting ready for the match. They had Tamina out there getting absolutely fucked over by the politics that is Naomi, which is sad. We had Lana out there putting Naomi down, which is happy. But you got two other girls that did not get any showing tonight that are in that match on Sunday that didn't get to make a showing of themselves, unless they're doing it on Talking Smack right now, which I'm not watching. Collar and elbow tie-up and some nice chain wrestling to start. Snapmare by Charlotte, a boot by Natty, who works the arm and works it into a front face lock. Hammer lock by Natty that turns it into an overhead surfboard submission. Charlotte eats the second turnbuckle. They trade some punches. They trade some backslide attempts. The pinning reversal sequences and the submission reversal sequences in this match were really good. They were fluid. You can tell that these are women that have been trained by other family members that are wrestlers. And I don't say that to put anybody else down, but you get that intangible that you know Charlotte grew up with Ric Flair. You get that intangible where you know Natalya came from the dungeon. And it's just, there's a fluidity to it that I can't really explain any other way. But chops by Charlotte, exploder suplex by Charlotte, which is usually Becky's thing. Luckily, she wasn't on the show tonight. She goes for the moonsault. She hits it. Boot by Charlotte. Sit-out powerbomb by Natty. We're getting a lot of sit-out powerbombs tonight. That's okay. Another boot by Charlotte, and natural selection gets the win for Charlotte Flair. And as I say, as much as Charlotte Flair's character is lacking somewhat, as much as her promos are a little bit more than a little robotic, you can't touch what Charlotte Flair does in the ring. And I'm sorry, they troused us along with Natty for so long. I don't care if she goes in there and has a 5-star classic. I'm not going to care about Natty at this point because I've just gone on too long not caring. And that's sad. And I know that's sad, but you know, Charlotte gets the win. Backstage, Lana mocks Naomi, because that's what you do. And the main event is Owens, Corbin, and Ziggler versus Nakamura, Zayn, and Styles, proving not only that the only way we can promote Money in the Bank is to have all the competitors in the Money in the Bank in a tag match. And it also proves that every time there's a Money in the Bank match, they have to balance out the faces and the heels. I was really surprised that they didn't throw all of the women from the female ladder match, or maybe take out one, maybe take out, I don't know, Carmella, and have another tag match with the women from the women's ladder match as well. Because you had 4 tag teams in an 8-person tag at the beginning of the night. Then you've got a couple of singles matches with the women, which is fine. And then you've got all of these competitors in another tag team match. It's not that any of it is bad, it's just that it's lather, rinse, repeat, if that makes sense. Nothing against the talents that performed tonight, except for Naomi. But there's nothing wrong with what they're doing, it's just they're all doing the same thing. Does that make sense? Anyways, Nakamura takes down Ziggler to start and hits him with a mud hole stomp, uppercut and a drop kick by Ziggler, boots by Owens, body shots by Corbin and a mud hole and a choke, snapmare and a headlock by Ziggler, and follows it up with a shower of elbow drops, clothesline, corner splash, and a gutbuster by Styles, that inverted pump handle gutbuster that he does. That's really nice. Followed by the Ushigoroshi, which they haven't called the Ushigoroshi since they fucked over, what the fuck was his name? Mauro Ranallo. Thank you for that, JBL. You can go fuck yourself. Ushigoroshi by Styles, and Zayn comes in and tosses out Owens, and then hits him with a dive, which I'm sure Randy Orton absolutely loved. DDT by Ziggler, deep 6 by Corbin, back elbow drop by Ziggler, stomps by Owens, running senton and a DDT, corner spear by Corbin, mid-ring tackle by Corbin, blue thunderbomb by Zayn, corner lariat by Corbin, clothesline by Zayn. Zayn tosses out all 3 of the heels. Eventually Corbin comes in just in time to hit a haluva kick. Sami Zayn gets another pin on Baron Corbin for the win. Babyfaces win the 3-on-3 match. Everybody brawls. Because that's what you do when a multi-person match is coming up on Sunday. Everybody brawls. They bring in the ladders. Because that's what you do when Money in the Bank is on Sunday. They all beat the shit out of each other. And I got ready to write that Baron Corbin stands tall at the end of the brawl, because I want Baron Corbin to win on Sunday, giving you guys a lot of previews to my preview that's going to happen later this week. But they made it look like Baron Corbin was going to be the guy that stood tall when the dust settled, as cliche as that sounds. But then Nakamura comes back in. He hits him up with a Kinshasa and a couple of other things. Nakamura, in fact, stands tall at the top of the ladder, symbolically grabbing the briefcase and saying, basically, fuck you, this is what's going to happen on Sunday. Which is good. And it's all good. And functionally, like I said, and I hate to beat a dead horse here, functionally, this was a good show. In ring, this was a good show, except for Naomi. There just wasn't anything, wow, there wasn't anything to punch that there's a pay-per-view this Sunday. Now, you can't do that when there's a pay-per-view every 2 weeks, I get it. But I can't make up awesomeness when it's not there. But let's talk about Sunday. Sunday is going to be better than Extreme Rules. It has to be. If the roster shows up, it'll be better than Extreme Rules. Can't say the same about Great Balls of Fire, but that's only because Joe and Brock Lesnar is the only thing keeping the Raw brand afloat at the moment, because yeah, everything else is just kind of strange. But what do we have on Sunday? What do we have to look forward to on Sunday? We're probably getting the Colognes versus Breezango, although that's not been officially confirmed yet. We're getting Lana versus Naomi, where we're going to save the women's title from the trash bag. We're going to get the Usos going over the New Day, because the Usos shouldn't lose the title just yet. Jinder's going to beat Orton, which is fine. And then we've got Becky, Carmella, Charlotte, Natty, and Tamina in the female Money in the Bank. We've got Corbin, Zayn, Ziggler, Owens, Styles, and Nakamura in the male Money in the Bank match. And if you want my prediction for either of those matches, you're going to have to tune in later this week when we tackle Money in the Bank preview and predictions and pay-per-view pick 'em. Myself, Christian, hopefully the ghost of Guapo. Hope you guys tune in for that. Hope more of you come in and participate in that, in the little game we do. We had about 8 people participating for Extreme Rules, even though it was a shitty pay-per-view. This one's going to be better, so I hope we have more participants. Anyways, I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later. But for right now, I'm tagging out. Bye, guys.